What's going on, guys? Victor Macias here, and I am super excited today to talk about when is the right time to quit your day job and go all in on your side hustle. One of my favorite stories and one of the biggest and best decisions in hindsight now that I did was to leave my day job and pursue my side hustle at the time. So, at the time, I was a business consultant and I had a side hustle where I had like a men's lifestyle community, kind of like a men's health or a GQ. And the job was good, but it was very bureaucratic. It wasn't fulfilling to what I wanted. I really wanted to just go all in on my dream. And at the time, I was building a lot of momentum, and I was starting to work with a lot of big brands and getting sponsored deals. So I remember one day during lunch, I'm reading The 4 Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, and I come across this phrase that says something like, "That in life which you fear the most is what you should most be doing." I read that, and I walked into my boss's office, and I said, "Thank you for everything, but I'm done." And her eyes got wide. She was like, "Whoa!" It kind of came out of nowhere. And I remember getting up and this like wave of panic washing over me. Like, holy crap, what did I just do? A couple of weeks earlier, I had just gotten married, and I took a very impulsive reaction. I'm like, holy crap, I didn't even talk to my wife about this. Fast forward, my wife was ultimately cool with it, and it was the best decision that I ever made at that point in terms of business. And there was something about going all in. In hindsight, looking at what I've learned, I want to share, a few of the things for you to consider to see if it's time for you to go all in on your dream. So number one is to make sure that you have traction, right? And when I say traction, I don't mean Instagram likes or engagement or traffic to your website or emails. Those are all good. They're all leading indicators. But I mean income, and I mean consistent income, right? Is it trending up? How long have you been getting, if it's a sponsorship deal or selling digital products? Make sure that you have real traction. And then number two is to cap your downside. So one of the common themes that I've seen when I read about famous entrepreneurs or billionaires, people that have made it big, is that they all find ways to limit their downside. And one way is to look at what is the worst case scenario that can happen, and how do you protect yourself against it? So number one is, what happens if your revenue drops by 40%? It's life, right? Recessions happen, freaking pandemics happen. So if your revenue was to drop by 40%, would you still be okay? Are you paying yourself from the business? There's taxes, there's things to consider. And looking at the worst case scenario there definitely helps. Do you have a buffer? Do you have 6 months worth of living expenses just in case, again, the worst happens, or things take longer than you expect them to take? Can you treat this like an experiment? So are you able to talk to your boss and negotiate some kind of a 1 month, 3 month sabbatical? One of the cool things with my boss is, even after I told her what I told her, she said, think about it. She gave me like a month and a half to think about it. Ultimately, my decision was the same, but it still gave me a chance to process, right? Something else in terms of testing is, what will your new income level be? Because a lot of times when we want to go into our side hustle, it's not making as much as our main job, right? So are you going to be making $1,000 less? Are you going to be making $2,000 less a month? Experiment and live that life for a month, for 2 months, and see, can you really get by this way, right? Because it is fulfilling and it is amazing to go after what your dreams, but also if there's a way for you to really experiment and see what it's like before you eventually pull the trigger, it'll show you a lot about yourself, and it'll show you what you're really willing to do for your dream. And once you've looked at, if you have traction, if you can cap your downside, if you've treated this like an experiment, then pull the trigger. One of my favorite stories, and I'm totally gonna summarize this, but it's about this group that went into battle. Right? There was a general, and there was soldiers, and they were severely outnumbered. They're on a ship. They arrive on this island, and they turn around and their ships are on fire. Their commander had lit their ships on fire, and they're like, what the hell? What are we going to do? The commander says, the only way off of this island is to win. It gave them no choice but to succeed. When you go all the way in to what you like, what your dreams are, you hit this level of commitment where you have no choice but to make it happen. And I believe that anything worth doing is worth committing 100%. So if you feel that you're ready, if your business has traction, take the jump, take the plunge. It's amazing what you'll see on the other side. So, thanks guys, thanks for listening.